Hi everyone, welcome to SMI Hub. My name is Julie and here we discuss everything Canadian immigration, studying in Canada, and even being a mom in diaspora. So today I'm going to be talking about something very important, especially if you're looking for a research-based master's or PhD, and is how to get a supervisor that will fund your program and that we allow you to do research as well. You know the kind of province that you feel like you can live in. Like Canada is so different. It has different provinces. Some provinces are colder than some. So if you are really strongly opposed to living in a province, I advise that if you want to search for a school, you search based on provinces, okay, and just search schools in the province you prefer. But if you do not have any preference, then you can just go ahead and search for a supervisor based on your program. So for instance, if you are an environmental science major, you did environmental science in your bachelor's degree and you want to do a master's in something related, I think you need to, not even I think, based on my experience, the best way to do it is to go on Google, for instance, and search those that are doing something that you want to do, those that are doing the kind of research you want to do. For instance, if you work with fishes when you were doing your master's and you want to do a PhD, so you need to search for professors that are working with fishes. If that's what you want to do, search for professors that are working with fishes and then begin to narrow it down to those that are really doing what you think you want to do. Now, this is very important in a PhD, trying to get a PhD program, because a PhD is a long-term thing. It's not 1 year, it's not a 1 year program, it's not a 2 year program, it's not a 3 year program. At minimum, it's 4 years at minimum here in Canada. So you want to make sure that you are doing what you really love to do. And in my case, I basically searched based on my interest. So at that moment, I was working with, soils, trying to determine CO2 respiration in soils, working with spectroscopic equipment, and I loved it. I wanted to work in that kind of line. So I went online. I went to these websites where people bring out their research, like ResearchGate. I checked LinkedIn. I went on Google. I just kept on searching, looking for professors that have a very good fit with what I want to do. So I was looking for professors that basically were doing what I really like to do, and I had projects that were similar to my interest, at least similar, even if it's not exactly the same. Luckily, I found a professor that was doing exactly what I really wanted to do, and that was just it. So make sure you search based on what you want to do. That's the first tip. Now, the second one is that you need to search based on the program you want to do, not on the department that you think you should be. So for instance, if you're an environmental science department, don't search for professors in environmental science department alone in Canada. You are going to really restrict yourself and just contain yourself. You don't want to do that. What you need to do is to just search broadly, because sometimes you will find a professor that is really majoring in environmental science, but it's not in the department of environmental science. It might be in the department of geology, or in the department of botany, or in the department of geography. Very weird. It might be in somewhere different. So you don't want to search based on your program. Take that back. You don't want to search based on the department you're coming from, so that you don't narrow yourself down. Because what I find out people do is that because they are in department of zoology or department of biology or department of health sciences, they only search for professors in health sciences. You don't want to do that. So a good example is I have a colleague that actually finished from computer science, but at the moment she's working in, Department of Health Sciences, in medicine, in department, I think family medicine or something. So what she's doing is she's working in the computer area. She's working on how to use computer technology to assist in medicine. So she's still doing her computer science. It's just a different department. Now imagine if she had been like so her vision has been so narrow, so she just basically narrowed down herself and limited herself to computer science, looking for professors in computer science alone. She's basically going to like miss out on such juicy. I mean, that's wonderful. You've been able to work in interdisciplinary, research. That's great. So don't limit yourself to your department. That's the big thing. There are some people that just need to know this, and they are going to start getting the right responses. Open up your search. Open up your search. Okay. If you don't care about province, open up your search. If you do care about province, within the province that you select, open up your search. And I'm very, very positive that you're going to get someone looking for you. Okay, so the next thing is to ask if their lab or their program is a good fit. Now, after finding a couple of professors, you want to narrow down your search. And by looking at what they do, even though it's similar, is it a good fit to what you think you're going to be doing? Like, I have people that work in the microbiology side of environmental science, and they don't want to have anything to do with the physics side of environmental science. And some people don't want anything to do with environmental biogeochemistry or anything that has chemistry. So you don't want to force yourself to work with things that has, you don't want to force yourself and be miserable for 4 years. And as a master's student, you don't want to be miserable for 2 years. Although it's easier to be miserable for 2 years than to be miserable for 4 years. No, that's a bad advice. So even if you're going for a master's, do something you love. And if do something, at least something that you think you will love, if you don't love it now. So basically, search, check their profile. So you can do this by going to the school's website and then looking for the professor's name. They all have their own individual pages, so check their page. You will see they always have like summary of what they do, so you can have an idea. And some of them have website. Go to their website, check it out, and just have a feel for what they do and see if it's something you can work with. And then the next thing is the supervisor a good fit? So you want to ask if the supervisor himself is a good fit, because in the case of a PhD, for instance, you need a good supervisor. And when I say good, it means a lot of things. Like, you need a supervisor that is a good fit for you as a person. Is the person compassionate? Is he annoying? Is he generous? Is he easily offended? Is he unavailable? Because some supervisors are very brilliant and but they are unavailable because they are traveling from one place to the other, because they are quite popular and they are brilliant, like they're everywhere. Is that can you work with that kind of person? There are some students that are cut out for specific kind of supervisor. Some people can work even if their supervisor is always traveling. They have that inner motivation to keep pushing. They'll be fine in that kind of setting. If you are the type that you don't have the inner motivation, you need someone to be there, or you need supervision, like back-to-back supervision. You don't want to go for that kind of supervisor because you'll be frustrated. I know it's hard from abroad, you being abroad and then the other person being on the other side of the divide, to have a feel of who the person is. It's really, really hard. But just try your best to maybe reach out to the professor's student if you feel like, okay, I really like this person. Or even check out the student, past student, previous student. Do they graduate on time, or do they spend years? That could clue you into what you need to know. Okay. And another thing is, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's one thing that we're always afraid of as international students. Like in my previous video where I talked about proof of funds, I said there are some questions you need to ask, especially if you're going to be paying your tuition, because when you come here and you are stuck, no one is going to pay it for you. I mean, it doesn't cost them anything to just bot you out if you are not up to date with your payment. So shoot the graduate assistant an email if you have a question. Shoot the graduate coordinator an email if you have a question. If you're an undergraduate, shoot the undergraduate assistant an email if you have a question. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions, okay? Ask questions. It's your program and it's your life. Like, you're going to be spending your life there. Okay, so now let's go into the crux of this video. So if you now want to you've gotten a number of professors that you feel that are a good fit and they are everything, and you want to reach out to them, all you have to do is send them an email, just an email. So the email is kind of like, it has an introductory tone. So you can open up with, dear Professor this, my name is so and I'm from so University, in so country. I have gone through your LinkedIn profile, I've gone through your ResearchGate profile, I've seen your publications, and I really love what you do. It connects with what I am doing. You just make sure that email shows what you are doing and how it connects with what that professor is doing. So I am I'm currently studying how pacemakers are used in heart patients, and I see that you are also doing something like that. I would love to work with you because I see the connection. You need to show the professor what you're doing and how you think you can come in and be a good fit in his lab or in his program. You don't just want to send a generic email. Hi, my name is this. I'm looking for a master's degree. Can you be my supervisor? No one is going to respond to that, except if the person has a lot of funding and a lot of position and really is desperate for a student. But typically, no one is going to respond to that, okay? So you want to be specific. It just takes you going to that professor's website, checking what they are doing, and linking it up with your own. You shouldn't even be sending an email to someone that is not related to what you're doing in the first place. So if the person is related, you should be able to connect both of you's work together. So in the email, talk about what you do, talk about how it connects with their own, talk about if you've done standardized tests, maybe the GRE or the TOEFL. Talk about it if your score is good. I mean, even if the school does not require you to submit a GRE, but this is a private email to a professor, right? So you want to mention it. In my case, I had done the GRE and the TOEFL, and I mentioned it, and I feel like the GRE also still gave him a sense of assurance that I'm going to, because the GRE is an indication of how well you do in graduate school, because it has to do with comprehending a lot of information. He did mention that it was like, oh wow, okay, so since you have this score, okay, and it felt more assured, and then he told me to send my transcript. But that helped. Now, if you've done previous internship, research internship, short stay visit, conferences, presentation, for conferences and presentation, you might not want to mention in the email because you don't want to write a very long email, but you can attach your CV that shows all of that. So everything you want to attach it in that one email. Attach your CV, attach your transcript, attach your GRE score if you have, your IELTS score if you have, whatever you feel that will really give you an edge, because these professors have so many people contacting them. Like when I wanted to get him, I had a Skype call with my professor before he decided that I go ahead with my admission application. And then he told me, oh, I received emails from all around the world, but this was what stood out to me in your email. So make sure you craft it well. And then don't send a generic email to all the professors in the same department. No. I mean, these people talk within themselves. Like, it's just not done. Tailor each email to each professor. If it's one email you're going to send a day, then do that until you get the person that will be able to work with you. And I tell you, if you get a professor that is willing to support your research and is willing to take you in, that's like 80% of the probability that you will be accepted and you get admission and that you get funding. Now the other 20% is if you're competitive enough as an applicant, because there'll be a round table. But when you have a professor that is saying, oh, okay, I'm supporting this person's application, you already have someone, because here that's how it works. The professor has to, like, you have to have a professor that is backing you up. There's some schools like University of British Columbia where they do, where I think like they judge everybody first together, but there you have to show GRE and TOEFL and all of that. But you still, in that case, it still gives an edge if you have a professor that is backing you up. So I think that's the very first thing you need to do. Not only will it give you an assurance that you know where you will end up after admission, it will also give you an assurance that there is a high probability that you will get the admission, and you won't keep wasting application fee. So I hope I really trashed this issue, and that's all I have to say on this episode of SMI Hub. Basically, this is all I have to say on this video. I hope you were really blessed. I put a lot of love into this video, and I know it has so much information, and I hope it's able to help at least one person out there. Till the next time we meet, take care and bye bye.